All right, 6:30 exactly on Wednesday morning, and we're cut testing with the Civivi Vision FG. I think I always get those numbers confused. I think it's FG Vision FG. Whatever. I'm just gonna call it the Vision. It's Civivi's Vision. We has a version of this that's more premium and titanium scales, better blade steel. But this is the $80 version in Nitro V. Just got it yesterday. So a couple things. I noticed right off the bat that the clip was pretty uncomfortable because it's mounted up on the side here. It's just more in your palm. So I replaced it. This is actually a Kaiser titanium deep carry clip that they sell on their website. Now this is a black one because I already had it, but I ordered just a plain tie one to replace this with. So this is just a placeholder, but I will be getting the same one in just plain tie soon. It fits perfectly. It's still recessed in that little cutout area. You can see the cutout area for the lefties, kind of right there. And it's way more comfortable because this edge here is rounded. On the stock clip, it's a sharp edge, and this has a pretty significant little whoop-de-doo kind of pecker poking up. So just much better all around. So now it should be really comfortable. I mean, we'll see in the cut testing. Another thing is, mine had pretty good lock stick when I first opened the box, but the good news is it's only been a day, and it's significantly better. So give it another couple days, it should be totally gone. Detent feels pretty good. You know, it's this locking mechanism is compared to a shark lock a lot of times from the 80-20s, 80-20.5s. And I gotta say the detent feeling on this is a little bit more crisp than on the Demco shark lock. Just feels a little bit more of a crisper breakaway. Not the same as something with a detent ball, liner lock, or a frame lock, compression lock, whatever. But pretty good for this kind of locking mechanism. Really like the blade shape. It's thin behind the edge. It's like 12 thousandths back here, and then up here it gets to around like 15 thousandths, 14 thousandths. Pretty thin blade stock, almost a full flat grind sheep's foot blade. This should cut pretty good. It's fidgety, it's smooth. I got the satin bladed one. There was some black bladed ones with micarta scales, but I just like the satin more than black blades, so I'm gonna end up dyeing this some sort of color. So yeah, I'm excited to see how it cuts. Pretty sure it's gonna do really good. Let's go out and see how it does. And here we go. Let's get it on. This Kaiser deep carry pocket clip is really nice. It just slides in and out of the pocket so easy. So here we are. I'm not expecting a whole lot from this Nitro V blade steel. You know, I'm a little bit spoiled these days on 15V, Maximet, and K390, and you know, stuff like that. But you know, we'll see. This is the factory edge. It could be sharper, but it's not too bad. It's cutting paper easily. Let's start with some regular thickness cardboard here. I like that it has a choke up spot because there's no, you know, as long as your finger's in there blocking off that area, the cardboard can't slide back in there and get snagged while you're slicing. Just hits your finger instead. Really, really nice slicer here. Very nice. Right up there with the big dogs. Now for the triple thickness cardboard. Going with the grain here. Pretty easy. A little bit more, you know, muscle needed to push through it than the single thickness, but not bad. And then going the hard way here against the grain. Again, still a little bit harder to push through, but man, pretty freaking good. It's cutting cleanly. I'm very satisfied with that. Let's get some of this tape goo off so that it doesn't interfere with our cutting through the paper here for our edge testing. All right, where's our edge at? Noticeably duller after the cardboard, but we're still cutting paper. All right, let's do some utility cuts. And as you might have guessed, it's blazing through. This is, slicing, and these types of utility cuts are going to be this knife's specialty. Let's make some turns. Pretty good. Pretty good. Tighter turns. Got a little piece hanging on there, but not bad at all. Pretty clean. Ergonomics so far feel very nice. There's not any major hot spots. If it had the original clip on it, there would absolutely be a hot spot right there. But since I have this new one on from Kaiser, I don't feel any hot spots. Let's cut some leather here. Let's roll up this old glove and do some cutting. I'm interested to see how it'll do because it's a little bit different sheep's foot blade than we're used to. It's got a gradual belly, and the whole blade is kind of angled up from the handle a little bit instead of down. You'll kind of see what I mean here in a second. That did pretty good. Pretty good. How about some rubber tubing? This is where the belly really comes in handy. So you can kind of rock on that belly a little bit. If the blade was kind of tilted downward towards the surface, you wouldn't really be able to do that as well. So while it might not look at it, this is actually pretty good for these types of, kind of food prep-ish, chopping-ish kinds of cutting tasks. You can see there you can rock almost all the way back to the heel because that it's just kind of angled up a little bit. You can see right there. So pretty nice. Kind of best of both worlds situation, low tip for utility cuts, but also, enough belly, and the way it's angled up, you can do some chopping like this. Doing the bungee cord material. Pretty good. Pretty good. Again, a little bit of belly lends itself to that type of cuts. I don't know what you would call that kind of cutting. I guess it's chopping, right? Like chopping up some veggies or something. I don't know. Our edge, however, has taken some damage. We are no longer able to consistently, cleanly slice the paper. I haven't cut tested with Nitro V in quite a while, so I can't say if this is how Nitro V typically handles. But like I said, I wasn't expecting a whole lot out of it. It's a more budget-oriented blade steel, so that's just what you're getting. On this heavy-duty 2-inch strap, we got maybe a little bit over halfway on the first cut. Let's try again. And we got a little less than halfway there. And the last one. Choking back this time, maybe that'll make a difference. Not really, about the same, about halfway. So since we are pretty dull at this point, I feel like that was the main thing that was holding it up from cutting farther, is just the dullness of the edge, because it is a thin, it's a thin grind, thin blade stock. So going back to the paper, seeing if I can just get it to slice paper, but it's, even when you get it through, it's a very, very rough cut. So there you go. This is a knife you're going to need to be upkeeping pretty regularly. So let's strap it up. Let's see how well it straps back. I'm guessing it should strap back pretty well. So this is about an $80 knife, maybe a little bit less. I feel like that's pretty fair, typically on like an $80 knife, I would like to see some better blade steel, like maybe 154 CM or something. But, it makes sense, it's a new locking mechanism with, more goes into, making those different parts and making everything fit together. So I guess it makes sense why it's $80 with Nitro V. Honestly, I would have liked to see it maybe like around $100 with some 154 CM or something. So after the strapping, it's still not quite as sharp as it was before we started, but it's definitely a good working edge. This would definitely get you through the day of working, So that's, there you go. It's Nitro V. It's not great stuff. It does take a very keen, very sharp edge right when you first sharpen it. But it doesn't last that long. So that's just how it goes. Just in comparison, getting out the Hedgehog and M390 here, just so you can kind of see the difference. And it's pretty apparent. There we go, that was a good one. But it's still a rough cut, see what I mean? So that's just what it is, man. Really cool knife. I really like it a lot. It's comfy, it slices really good. I like the locking mechanism. It's almost like, we have a new Demco knife, a different Demco design, because it really feels very similar to a Shark Lock. But, it definitely feels different, but definitely similar. I like the overall design. It's something a little more out there, It's not just your run-of-the-mill pattern, which I like. You get tired of the same stuff. Here I was showing that even though we're not cutting paper super well, I mean, obviously it's going through cardboard very easily, because it's got thin geometry. So even if it's not the stickiest, sharpest edge, you're going to be fine throughout the day. But, just be prepared to, you're going to have to strap it a lot. And that's not necessarily, doesn't have to be a bad thing. I actually like strapping. So, I have 2 straps, one at my house, one in my truck. And, even if I'm carrying my K390 Delica, I like to strap it up maybe even twice throughout the day. Even though it really doesn't need it, I like to have the sharpest possible edge that I can. So, yeah, it's just, it's fine. It's fine. Full review coming soon on this knife. I don't know if they're sold out or not. I'll try to link it below if I can. And if you want one of these Kaiser pocket clips, I'll put a link for them too. They're just on the Kaiser website. They're, I believe, $15, I think. You can get blue, black, or plain. That's it. I love you guys. Please like the video before you head out, and I'll see you soon. Adios.